Welcome to another episode of Skyrocketing Your Lead Generation Online, your masterclass series on how to fill your sales pipeline with a consistent stream of high-paying clients. Your straight-up resource for actionable advice and mindset that will take you one step closer to generating consistent leads online into your business. I'm your host, Anjana Lal, and today we have Sadie Scotch from Brooklyn, New York. Sadie has over 10 years of global sales experience. She specializes in creating organic content and video prospecting to attract, convert, and close online prospects into clients. She is also a globetrotter and has visited over 75 countries, which is so interesting. I'm sure you've got a ton of stories. I'm so excited to welcome you, Sadie. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks, Ange. It's nice to speak with you again.
So today we're going to be talking about how to leverage using video prospecting. But before we get into that conversation, tell our audience a little bit about your story, how your journey started, and how you ended up doing what you're doing today.
Yes, well, thank you again for inviting me on your webinar. I'm really excited to be here. So my story, it's not really a straight line. I haven't been doing sales my entire career. I actually started off in government. My first job out of university was at NATO in Brussels. And then I worked at Thomson Reuters in San Francisco. But it was about 10 or 11 years ago, I think during the last financial crisis, that I started off in sales and also in my international career, as we've alluded to. So I worked for an international media company based out of Belgium, but my assignments were all over Africa and Eastern Europe and a few Middle Eastern countries. I then backpacked Southeast Asia by myself for 2 years. But fast forward, I have been working in digital marketing for almost 2 years now. So I'm really learning the most modern, up-to-date sales and marketing methodologies. And I'm constantly trying to learn, and video prospecting, I know we're going to talk about that, is I think one of the more cutting edge and trendy new ways to prospect. So I'm excited to talk about that.
Absolutely, because video is by far the most powerful ways to show up for your audience, right? Like there's no doubt about that. Be it live streams, pre-recorded interviews, and vlogs, etc. So let's talk to those people who want to leverage using video prospecting. Can you share with us what is hot right now? Like, how should entrepreneurs be showing up on video when it comes to generating those leads online?
Yes. So you're absolutely right. I think it's really the most tailored approach you could practically do to reach out to prospects. And I even learned recently that on LinkedIn, especially on the mobile, I'm not sure with the web-based one, there's a new function where you can send a video straight through the mobile to a contact. So I'm going to be trying that out soon. Just learned about it. But what I'm going to talk about today is it's actually reaching out to a list of leads where you already have their emails. Perhaps you've never contacted them before. Perhaps you have. There's a lot of different ways to do this specific type of video prospecting. And I use a platform called Soapbox by Wistia. There's a few others like Vidyard and Loom. And they're really, really easy to use. You don't need to be tech savvy. You record yourself with whatever you're doing on your screen. And then during the editing process, you can zoom into their website. And you can even create a thumbnail of yourself with their website to embed in the email that you send to them, which gets an amazing open rate, an amazing click and engagement rate. And then during the actual videos, I try to use different techniques. I might want to talk about their competitors, show them a graph of like their website traffic. It really depends what you do, who you're trying to reach. And I think one of the biggest reasons why I get really great results with video prospecting, it's that reciprocity, in behavioral science. They see that you put in that effort. So not everyone even watches the video. They might just immediately want to click the link in the email because they see that you did some serious work on, trying to reach out to them. So yeah, I think it's a really effective way right now. I can't imagine just cold emailing my prospects, the people I want to talk to, and comparing the results that I have today. with that.
Yeah, for sure. So, what would be the number one thing that you can advise our listeners to steer clear of when it comes to creating video content? Because I'm sure that there's like a ton of things that people try and test and then, find that, okay, this isn't the right approach.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I would actually just say don't overthink it. I think you just really need to get used to your voice, to the way you look. Of course, the first few times that you try it, it might be a dud. You might not have the right background, all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. But really, just don't overthink it too much. The point of the video is that you made it. So, really, just jump into it, I'd say.
Yeah, and you mentioned about LinkedIn because that's my zone of genius with LinkedIn, and I found
Mhm.
like you mentioned that mobile piece of being able to send someone in your database of LinkedIn a video message, and it's so powerful because your outreach could potentially be somewhat automated, but when you can send like a quick video, address that person by name, and really speak into their challenges with
Mhm.
a solution to their problems, that really hits home, right? Because you're using your authentic voice, you're showing up as a person, not a bot.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, so, I mean, I know I use that as one of my systematic approaches to dialing in my message because it allows those people to then resonate with who I am and what it is that makes me unique over some of my other competitors out there. So, what is
Mhm.
your systematic approach to dialing in your message via video so that it lands on
Yeah.
those right people?
So I think it is about doing some homework. I think even with LinkedIn, you really want to reach out to someone without that kind of like a canned script. You want to like
Yeah,
insert a few words about what they're doing, obviously their name and their company name.
yeah.
So, for example, I used to prospect software companies that do software for the construction industry,
Hmm.
and I would do quick research, a Google, what's the top company right now, who's getting the funding, who's the new kid on the block. And so if I open my video with my prospects website, because again, that grabs their attention right away,
Yeah,
I can then shift into their competitors' websites, point out some things that competitor is doing really good,
yeah,
and then use some tools like SEMrush or Alexa to show how their website ranking is going up.
yeah.
And that got me really, really great results because I tuned into who everybody cared about. And competitors are a great like go-to for maybe any sector on earth. Just talk about their competitor and it really gets people excited.
Definitely. And it also increases your credibility, right? Because you've taken the time out to really study their market, study who their competitors are so they know, you've done your due diligence. So obviously that what it is that you offer is in alignment with what it is that they're looking for.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some of the biggest mistakes that you've seen entrepreneurs make, like when it comes to using video in their lead generation efforts?
Yeah, so when you say when entrepreneurs make, I would just say when I make the mistakes and I've learned from them. I've been doing videos for over a year and a half now, and if I look back at my old videos, there were a lot of things wrong with them. Even just the quality wasn't always really good. I have a big light in front of me right now, as you could probably tell, which I think really makes people appreciate that.
Yeah.
But to be more specific, I think it could be, talking about too many things at once. So I really tried to hone in on that. I'll try to pick one topic, maybe it's their website, and I'm showing them some things that are really good. I think that's always great to start with, but also, start talking about what could be done better. Whatever your solution is, that should be where you start teasing it out. So
Yeah.
focusing in on one thing, keeping it short, because the video, you're not selling in the video is your hook to get them to click, to get to the human conversation.
Yeah.
So I found that I really needed to cut it back and also just kind of tease out, maybe I know a little bit more. So now you want to talk to me because I have this knowledge, I've demonstrated
Mhm.
that I've done my homework. So I'd say, keep it short and keep it to one topic and don't give away too much in your
Right.
first video.
Yeah, because I think the length is really important, right? Because I know people think, oh, I just want to add value. I'll just keep, I'll make my videos longer. But
Mhm.
shorter is, I'm seeing a better trend in short videos sort of increasing rather than keeping it longer. So, what would be the typical length? Like, say, if you're speaking on a particular topic, So I know you've done a lot of podcasts and things like that.
Mhm.
Podcasts tend to last for what, 20 to 30 minutes, roughly?
Right. 20, 40 minutes as
20,
well.
40
Yeah, you don't
minutes.
want to keep them too long, but very different lengths. So for my videos, I'd say never more than 2 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe even 1 minute is ideal. I think kind of getting to the point right away. It's
Mhm.
their website, then it's their competitor's website, and then it's a quick, like, if you want to know more, there's a link at the end of the video, at the bottom of the email. Click here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm here to help. So
Right.
really succinct. I've had CEOs and entrepreneurs write back to me saying that it was too long. A lot of people get very vocal, maybe because they see that you are so personal. People feel like they can be personal back in their messages. So I've gotten a lot of great compliments. People
Mhm.
who say they never respond ever to sales emails, but this one blew them away. People have said they just shared the video with their department. So yeah, I've gotten feedback from my own prospects quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, because it really, like you say, it just depends on the kind of video that you are sharing, right? Because some of them are educational based. Some of your videos may be, like touching on the emotional point or talking about a problem that you have a solution to. So yeah, it's just really honing in on what it is that your listeners and audience are really after. So what are
Yeah.
you noticing at the moment, in particular, given the current global climate and the trying times we're in? What's coming up for a lot of business owners when it comes to getting super visible online and generating their leads?
Yeah, so I'm really glad that you asked that question. I am still like developing my opinions based off of what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing. So I don't mean to give the cheap answer of the jury is still out, but I want to qualify that. So I have had some people that I reach out to, even like a cold call, which I'm doing more cold calls than ever because people are home and in front of their phones. And I had a woman pick up the phone the other day and she said, I'm so glad you called. All my conferences and my networking events have been canceled for the foreseeable future. So now I have a budget for digital marketing.
Yeah.
And, that's a great opportunity for me to educate her, to figure out, okay, you were told you have this money to spend. I shouldn't just say cha-ching and try to tell her, but really be that, expert source of knowledge who can help guide her to the right spend. So that's one side of it. And as I work in digital marketing, we could say, oh, this is a great sector. I think the sector right now during the pandemic, but I think the reality is our economies will take a hit. I think that's the general consensus. So people will have less money to spend. Our clients might be spending less. So it's going to
Mhm.
trickle around. But I think my biggest takeaway, or my opinion that I'm forming the most right now that I'd like to share, is I think it really depends on the leadership of a company, how they're going to react to this crisis.
Yeah.
So I've had some companies right away that wanted to spend. I think they see this crisis as an opportunity, or they can say, oh, I see a strategy out, it's digital, we're going to double down, we're going to go. And then a really solid handful of companies, like 50% of the people that I'm talking to every day, they'll say, oh, everything's on pause. This is a big hold. We need to see, we need to wait,
Right.
we need to evaluate. And I'm not saying that's bad, that everyone needs to be quick spend, but I really believe that the the leadership of the company is dictating how a company is going to feel during this period. And I deal with smaller companies, 25 people, sometimes 10 people. So I think that's when leadership is especially important, and it really can permeate, the mentality of the leader. So I think if some leaders are just saying, this is a crisis, it's going to be bad,
Mhm.
we need to wait, we
Yeah.
need to see what other people are doing, that's going to be obviously the reaction of the company. And then other leaders are going to just be much more proactive. So I'm trying to increase all my activities,
Yeah.
videos, phone calls, because then
Yeah.
I'm going to stumble upon that handful of leaders that see this as an opportunity to grow or to pivot. right now.
Absolutely, because showing up is better than, not showing up at all and then
Hmm.
ghosting your audience as well. And imperfect action is so much better than perfect inaction, as we all know. So
Right.
it doesn't really matter. And the thing is, like, I think video is amazing because it also helps your audience to get to know, like, and trust you. So they're more likely to respond. They get to create a relationship with you before you even get to meet them face to face. They get to know what your values are. And it's okay to share those strengths as well as the shadow side of your business as well, right? Because that's what gives that overall dimension that people get to really grasp. So,
Hmm.
for our listeners who are looking to get better at creating and presenting themselves at the highest level using video, what is something that they can easily tweak and pivot within what they're currently doing, let's just say, so that they can start seeing some quick results?
Yeah. So first off, I think the big thing to remember is that downloading one of these video platformings, testing it out,
Yeah.
it really won't take too much of your time. Of course, I've mentioned I've invested in maybe good lighting, but you don't need to. You can find a sunny corner, and
Right.
also just to get your feet wet and just I think what scares a lot of people is like, oh, one video per prospect, that could take a lot of time. So what I'd say is you could start off by doing some canned videos, which I've tested a little bit. You could do a video that anytime someone clicks on something on your website, like the whole request a demo or speak to a representative, instead of just sending them a link to your calendar, you could make a canned email that has a video in it of you saying, thank you for requesting a demo. This is what you can expect. I'm excited to learn about your goals, your challenges. So you don't need to name their name. That way it can go to everybody. You can use videos for product updates, for new features, for new things that you're offering. So all these different types of canned videos that I think will be less of an investment, maybe a little less scary. And then it also makes you think, oh, that's a greater value because it'll be going out to a lot of people. So I'd say for people who just want to test it out, that would be a really great way to start.
Those are great suggestions. I think you've given a lot of information there for people to even just, if they're not currently doing that, oh yeah, I could be doing that to sort of try and get some more quick wins or getting people to respond, increasing their response rate for their emails. So Sadie,
Mhm.
you have a gift to share with our audience today. Can you tell us a little bit about your generous gift?
Yes, so my gift today is a video tutorial. I have definitely hinted about a lot of things that I do throughout this conversation, but in this tutorial, it has a lot more details. It has specific scripts. It has the exact tools you can use. When I talked about honing in on one idea, I elaborate on that. You can see the zooming in and the zoom out. Yeah, so it's a tutorial from beginning to end of making a 2-minute video to send to your prospects.
That's awesome. And the link for the free gift is listed below. So for our listeners here today, click on the link and it will take you directly to the page where you can download it. So, Sadie, if you're going to leave people with one last piece of advice or actionable step that they can take immediately to start, moving forward, what would that be?
I'd say just do it. There are free trials on Soapbox, on Vidyard. Give it a try. Get used to how you sound, how you look. And
Yeah.
if you want a one-on-one session, you can always reach out directly to me, Sadie at responsify.com. More than happy to give you my 2 cents directly as well.
Awesome. Sadie, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your wisdom and insights with our audience. And for those of you tuning in, be sure to come back tomorrow for the next masterclass on skyrocketing your lead generation online. Take care and talk to you soon. Bye for now.